Hey guys, what's up? So today we'll be posting a series of videos. Probably the most important video that I'm going to be posting is the Tarantula Tea Tour. Have about 104, 105 tarantulas. We will record that on HD. And later on this week, there's about 4 cages, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll be transferring a slew of teas, so I'm going to be making that. And also the Super Mario Brothers Wii. Okay, I got a request from Mr. Game Boy 1997. He wants me to inform you of a website that he has designed. So it's tarantulaunited.freeform.org. I'll be posting that on the video description. And he just wants you to be aware of the website that he has created. I got this really interesting request from Halo 4 Noobs 93. Asked me like a question of how do I got into the tea hobby and along with how you got your first teas. Well, it's actually kind of worth noting because, you know, like I'm pretty popular with you guys on tarantulas, and I feel I should lay out my story of how I got into tarantulas and how I got 105. So basically, 1994 was the first year I bought my first tarantula. Before then, I was very terrified with spiders. I would cringe upon the sight of one, like you all. And I decided, you know what, I decided to conquer my fear and bought my first tarantula. So it was a G. rosea. Everyone buys them as your first one. And I named her Fang. She was a good-sized female, about the same size as Ruby. And fortunately I had her for about 8 years until she died. Yeah, the death was actually pretty gruesome, and I really don't like to get into it, but people would like to know what happened. Well, it's the one I made a lot of mistakes when I was young, and again, people do, and to get good experiences, you make mistakes and you learn from them. So the biggest mistake that I ever did was taking a 5-gallon tank, splitting it into a divider, and having a mesh to cover both tanks. Never a good idea, because what happened was I had Fang and Ruby. If you guys remember Ruby, that was my old Grandma-Solo rosea. She died of old age. She was about 20 years old. It's about the average lifespan of a G. rosea, and Fang got in somehow, go over to Ruby's cage. And because tarantulas are cannibals, they fought, and Fang lost, and Ruby won, essentially. So that's probably one of my darkest histories of keeping tarantulas. So I had a lot of teas that came and went. You know, like I had a couple of B. Smithy, had 2 of them. I had I think it was 2 females. One died prematurely, and the other one died of old age. It was a old B. Smithy. Then I started getting B. Amelia. Fortunately, he died of old age because he was a mature male. And at one point I had 13 tarantulas. I had Theraphosa blondie, the Goliath bird eater. It was a sling. Had some Megaphibema robustum, had some Brachys, had some G. rosea. What else I had? I had B. albopilosum, which is still living today. The A. calcodes, I had a pair, a male and a female. Like I told you in my mating video, we tried to mate, and female was totally ignoring the male, so that was my first attempt to mate. It wasn't successful. I had a P. camergi, a mature male, actually really docile. I held it no problem, and I did not even know that these were a supposedly defensive tarantulas. So I guess that was my first experience of handling tarantulas that can be defensive in nature. So that was cool. And I also had a P. regalis, adult female, a couple of Avix, the pink toes, and final one I believe was Phonopolis simati, the Costa Rican zebra. So keep in mind, Tarantula Canada didn't even exist back then, and I used to got my tarantulas from pet stores that had access to importations from tarantulas. So, all was well until about 2001. The final tarantula that I bought was a Grammosola pulchra, the Brazilian black ebony. She was about that small, just maybe slightly smaller than Paul's. So then, by the time I went to CEGEP, well, this is the college, I stopped collecting teas. You know, I still care for them. Didn't have any interest in them buying. So now, back in 2007, that was a big year for my tarantula collection because it started to increase. So I noticed a lot of YouTube videos and looking at tarantulas and so like, you know, I really should start getting to tarantulas again. So that's when I bought my first tarantula in 6 years. There's Scarlet. That's the first one I ever bought. And I started posting YouTube videos as of 2007. My first YouTube video was a 24-second cell phone video of me handling Scarlet after she freshly molted about a week ago. So that was awesome. So then I came to discover Tarantula Canada. That's the first tarantula I ever bought from there was the Eupalustris campstratus, the Pink Silver Beauty, and that's when my collection just really blew out of proportion. Now in 2010, look at my collection. All the way from about 5 to 105. That's a lot. So also 2007 was also the year I posted a lot of YouTube videos on my tarantulas. I document them, their growth rate, their eatings, their molting. Pretty much ever got a new tarantula, I would record it, show you how to take care of it, and such. And 2 years ago, YouTube offered me the YouTube partnership, and I accepted, and this is what my channel looks like 3 years later. So with 2,511 subscribers and about 668 uploads, and there'll be many more. So guys, so that was my history lesson of how I got into the teas and still at it. So hopefully, you know, within the next couple of years, probably one day I will become a tarantula dealer in Canada because we need one, and I feel that I would give a great asset to the tarantula hobby. So, thanks for listening and hope you enjoy the video. Peace.